They're gonna bring him back against fucking the black dude at 170. That's the fight.
Tyron Woodley?
That's already been made at the thing. That's gonna come together.
Slow
Watch
the
it.
fuck down.
Watch it. Watch it.
Well, we just said that Woodley's gonna fight Bisping in a catchweight fight.
I know. That's all great. They're gonna fight. Watch.
You think that Tyron Woodley is going to fight?
Tyron Woodley. That was already established in New York. Tyron Woodley. Tyron Woodley is already going to fucking fight him, okay? That's the first fight. Then they're going to try to, that's the fight they're going to put there at 170, maybe in May.
What happens to Khabib?
Then they're gonna, this is what, see, this
so you think he's going to go to 170 and fight for the title?
Decision. This isn't my decision.
This is beyond you.
This is beyond me.
Yeah. How do you know this?
Because I already seen the setup at the fucking New York.
I work for
Were
the
you
UFC.
fucking blind because you didn't see what I see?
But I talked to them.
I know you talked to them, but they don't tell you dick. They
But I'm
didn't tell
talking to the people
you didn't know
behind
they
the
were getting
scenes.
sold. You didn't know until
His
they
best
fucking
friend
sold.
owns it.
I did at the end.
I understand. But the problem is here that was the seed was already planted in New York. It was already planted. None of you motherfuckers saw it. What are you guys watching?
What seed?
The seed of him talking back and forth with Tyron
I did see that.
Woodley, okay? That's the fucking seed, okay?
Jesus Christ.
That's the fucking seed.
It smells like a zoo.
He's gonna look at
Smells like a
Khabib
zoo.
already at the press conference.
Khabib again.
Already Khabib. He said he doesn't fight enough.
Okay, wait, what's going on here?
That's kind of Wayne's talking shit.
That's the seed, you dumb fucks. That's the seed.
What's happening here? What is he saying?
He's just talking shit to him.
Talking shit to him.
Can we hear what he said?
No. I don't think so.
It went on, and then
it's just Conor talking
and then
shit.
Tyron said some
He might
shit.
have said, "Hey." He might have said, "Hi."
No.
Did it come out?
Stop.
Hold on.
Yes, it came out.
He said
see
something
this.
like, "You're lucky I don't come to 70 or something." Like that.
Watch.
We can do it.
Look at him trying to be cute with him.
There's a moment here. There's a moment.
See?
Hey, bro.
Brewing between Tyron Woodley and Conor
Yeah.
McGregor. They are
It got set up right there.
eyeing each other down.
Okay,
Tyron
so that's
Woodley
the
said
next
hello
fucking
to
fight,
Conor
guys.
It's
McGregor.
Conor saying we can do it at 70. We can do it at 70.
Joe
Who the
spotted
fuck?
that
You people don't
shit.
see dick because you see what you want to fucking see. That's the next fight. He already planted the fucking seed. He's not gonna fight Tyron. He's gonna fight Tyron and killed more time for Khabib like they threw Dennis Seaver on him when Frankie Edgar was fucking lurking. When Frankie Edgar was running, they threw Dennis Seaver on him. Oh, well, Dennis Seaver's available. Dennis Seaver's available. Oh, you know.
Look at the color of his skin.
So
Look
now
how red he gets. Look
it's
how
in
red he
between.
gets.
Hey, he's talking some truth
It's
here.
in between fucking. He doesn't want to fight Ferguson. He's not going to fight Tony Ferguson.
Why not?
It's not because, bro, it's too much height, and Tony Ferguson don't give a fuck. He's a
Here's
barbarian.
backstage again.
Who fucking farted? That
Me.
is a horrible fart.
That was me.
It smells like a
it's
straight
tremendous
zoo.
fart. It's a tremendous
It
fart.
smells like a zoo up
That
in
one
this
was.
bitch.
Oh, look at this. They are going.
Don't
at-
fucking tell me,
let's
guys.
get some volume on that. Can we get volume on that? What back there? Let me hear this. Go all the way back. Way back. Here we go. Crank it up.
He's setting it up.
She's setting up the 170 belt. See? There's 8 guys there, guys.
You're
He
like
said
a
it's
woman with that phone.
Whoa.
Because
know what's
there's 10
crazy?
guys
He's
in the fucking
calling
ring.
him out.
There's 10 guys in the
And
fucking
Tyron,
ring.
look how drained Tyron looks.
Yeah.
Right?
Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Rewind it again. Let's
Rewind
hear
that.
it.
Rewind that. Rewind that. Shh. 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 Shh.
What's up? Not much.
We need your assistance.
You hear that lady
He
terrified?
just said what's up and he stared him
Conor
down.
said, "What's up?" He said, "Not much." But meanwhile, you look at Tyron. Tyron looks so drained there when he made that weight. It's like right after he made the weight.
I'll tell you what's crazy. I like
He's gonna go
Conor's
for 3
chances in
belts.
that fight.
He's going to go for 3 fucking
How crazy is
belts, guys.
that?
Do
I
you
can't
really?
believe nobody
Yes.
ever saw this shit. He's not going to fight Ferguson because it's a fucking, Aerosmith. Guns N' Roses was Aerosmith on steroids. And Tony Ferguson is Little Diaz with fucking elk blood in him. You understand me? He don't want that kid. He don't want Tony Ferguson. He don't want Tony Ferguson. And Dana,
It's not a draw
Uncle
for him,
Dana,
Joey.
Uncle John, Uncle Bobby Dana is not going to let his nephew fight Khabib.
Are
Okay.
you kidding? Conor versus Tony is not a draw?
It's not a draw for
dude.
Conor. I know he's
That's
your
a-
guy,
That's
Eddie.
a big fucking fight. Make
That's a
Tony
big
versus
fucking
Conor.
fight, though. That's a good
Even
fight
Tony
right
versus
there.
Khabib.
That's
That's
a
a
big
huge
fucking
fight.
fight.
Why
right there.
don't you think they're making it, Eddie?
You tell me.
Why do you think they're making it?
It's not gonna sell. And I love these guys. Don't get me. I'm not clowning your guy. But as far as the average consumer buying a pay-per-view, that's not a sell. It's just not.
Hell yeah, it is. I disagree.
Conor
I
fighting
disagree,
anybody
homeboy.
is
Connor's.
a sale.
Conor fighting anybody's a
Conor
sale.
fighting a top challenger is always a sale. And Tony
For
Ferguson,
Conor.
but Tony Ferguson is most certainly a top challenger. When Nate Diaz fought Conor for the first time was a giant fight because Nate Diaz had a name, and he's a bigger name than Tony, arguably, for sure.
Not even close.
Much bigger now after he beat him.
Before, the Diaz brothers and Tony?
Wasn't the same as it is now.
Brother,
it's a
the
different
Diaz
thing now.
brothers?
It's a different thing now. But he had it because of Nick, and Nick had all the Strikeforce success, Elite XC success. You know, all that's there's a lot of TV time there.
Nate was the Ultimate Fighter winner.
Nate, and then on top of that, Nick had just got done beating Anderson, or fighting Anderson rather, and you know Nick is like a pretty well-known figure, right?
They
His
both
brother,
are.
they're both the Diaz brothers are like, so that's a different level. But having him take that fight on short notice too, but Conor was the main draw. Is my point.
Connor's the main draw,
Connor's
and
the
I
main
agree.
draw.
But
And
this
he's the
is
main
why
draw
Connor's
even
not
in
taking it
fight.
because I agree. He's the main draw. If you're Conor and you're his manager, you're going, let's fight Tony, who's a tough fucking matchup, but he's not as big as the name as a guy like Nate Diaz at 55, who we're going to make more money, maybe not as tough as a fight, bigger name. So they're doing it from a business point.
And you
that's
know,
why he's not fighting
you
Tony.
also-
That's why he's not fighting Khabib.
You also
Tony's
have
a
the
tough
option.
fight, horrible fight for him.
They're going to do a Russia card, and when they do a Russia card, they want to do a Russia card with Conor, or with Khabib rather. So when they do a Russia card with Khabib, it's most likely going to be for a title, I would imagine.
It's a title.
It all depends if Conor accepts it. Remember,
Might not have
Conor
to be
has
Conor.
all the power.
It might be Tony, and it might be for
Correct.
an interim. And apparently they offered it to Tony, and Tony said that he wanted to make the same amount of money that Khabib makes.
which is perfectly fine.
Perfectly
fine.
fine. But, you know, they said, nope, you got a contract, you got to honor your contract. That's at least how it's been explained.
Yes, that's how it's being explained. They go, no, well, you sign these contracts, you got to honor the contract.
Yeah.
But that only works one way. That only works for the UFC because they don't honor all the contracts,
Right.
do they?
Right.
What do you mean?
If it works for them.
They can cut them. You have a 6-fight contract.
Right.
You've lost 2,
But that's
and
in
it's
your
boring,
contract.
You're cut.
It's in the contract that you can get cut. If it wasn't in the contract, there's guys who have fought, and they fought out their entire contract.
For sure.
Right?
But I'm just saying,
Like
it's
Pedro
very
Hizzo. Remember
very
the early
one-sided.
days? And Pedro Hizzo had this giant contract because they thought that Pedro was going to be the heavyweight champ. And so they were giving him like undercard fights. He was making $250,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's tricky, man, because I get the idea that they would want to protect Conor, you know, and really set up the big money fights, especially now because he's the biggest guy. But then you got Conor, who's kind of fucking crazy. And like the way he jawing down Tyron Woodley.
I don't think it's Conor doing it. I think it from a business standpoint, they're going, what's the biggest fight pot? Let's say you have 3 fights left. Who are the 3 biggest names we can fight and to make this happen so
Look,
you stay undefeated
the biggest
and make
thing,
the most money?
He might not be undefeated. I mean, he's definitely not undefeated now, right? But the biggest thing is the Woodley fight because that's a 170
That's
pound
170.
belt.
That's a third belt, guys. That's the fight.
That's
if you didn't
insane.
see
Does
it,
the UFC
shame
give 'em
on
that
you.
much control?
Shame on you, motherfuckers, if you didn't see it. Number 2, listen, I'm not saying that Khabib is going to beat Conor, especially after I see him take the punch from Michael Conor. I'm not saying
Michael
he's
Johnson.
gonna- Michael Johnson. But the fight is Khabib. And then the next fight has to be Ferguson if he beats him. That's the way it is where I come
But
from.
Ferguson
But
and
it's not
Khabib
gonna be
can't
like-
wait. They can't wait. Like Ferguson needs a fight like in the next 4 or 5 months. Khabib needs a fight in the next fucking 2-3 months. He's
Khabib
got-
said he'll fight in Brooklyn. And
Oh,
Tony
yeah.
Ferguson
That's
will
a
fight in
month
Brooklyn.
from now.
But he
that's
said
in
after,
February.
when you interviewed him,
Yeah.
and he put the hat on your
I
fucking
understand.
head. He said he'll fight in Brooklyn.
Put the hat on my head every
They
time
gotta
I've
promote
interviewed
him.
him.
Time, right,
I know
I'm
it's
sorry.
great. I fucking
love
love it.
wearing that.
And you don't say dick to him.
No,
There's
he
nothing
looks
you're
at
gonna
me.
say.
He looks at me.
Yeah,
He shows
got-
me the hat. I give him the nod. I'm like,
great.
yeah, I'll put that
Put
on.
the
I love
fucking
it.
hat on
I
and
like
shit.
that hat.
Now, Eddie, me as a fan,
Oh, as a
the
fan,
number
I
one
wanna
fight I
see
want
those.
to see is Tony versus Khabib. That's the fight.
That's
Yeah.
a fight.
There's not
too.
a better matchup
That's
that
a
can be
great
made
fight,
in the
too.
UFC.
Ooh, I don't know about that. I like Tony versus Conor. I even like Habib versus Conor.
Yeah, I like them both.
Any of those.
I like
Any of those
I
three.
like Conor versus Woodley. I like that fight too.
That's
I like
the
that
fight, guys.
too.
That's the next money fight. But he's going to eventually.
I don't think the UFC gives them enough power to do that. They're not going to let him get that
it's
much
about,
control.
It's all
You just
about
said
the
Conor has all the
Benjamins, baby.
power.
Yeah, he's got all the power.
Well, here's the thing about
I do. You think they're
Woodley.
going to give
just
him
said
more
that.
power?
Woodley loses to Bisping. If he
He has
loses this
enough power.
catchweight fight, he still keeps that 170
Yeah.
pound strap.
That's if that catchweight fight happens.
That's just
the UFC
smoke up
might be
your
like,
ass.
what? No, you can't
It's
hold
the
up 2 divisions.
It's Tyron against my boy Conor
I got to go with
McGregor.
Joey
Might
on
be
this
right.
one.
I'm telling you, they
was,
planted
he was
at the
going
thing.
after Tyron.
They planted the seed right there.
Well,
Like,
When
You
does
can't
that
tie
ever
up 2
happen?
divisions.
That's
I've been
ex-
backstage at UFCs all the goddamn
That's
time.
exactly
That shit
how it
don't
happens.
happen. Like dudes aren't just
and they're
fucking
going to push
nutting
him
up on
away
people.
from the Russian and
Conor
Ferguson
does.
I know,
for as long
but-
as they can.
I mean, but
and then
specifically,
they'll do what
we
they
got
did
video
after.
of
Hey, we
him
can't
and
talk
Woodley.
over each other.
No, they'll do the NASA thing when they go to interview them. They die in car accidents and shit. But that's the fight, guys. That's the fight right there that everybody wants to see. right off the bat. I love to see Conor and Khabib. I love to see Ferguson and Khabib. But they're not going to do that right off the bat. They're going to hope that they fall off a cliff or a plane goes down. Let's give him the money fight, which is 170. Can he get the third belt?
Here's
Smart
the thing:
thinking,
if he
Joe.
loses, if he does lose, if he goes up to and beats Tyron, nothing happens.
He has nothing to
It's
do.
risk-free.
It's risk-free.
Same thing with that first Nate Diaz fight.
Okay. Remember who runs this show?
But then what
right
do you
here.
do with
And
what do you
God, we
do?
try-
What do you do with Tony and Khabib?
They go to Bellator.
No,
They're gonna get pissed off. They're gonna say, "Fuck you, UFC."